we're on the last set of problems here, number 46. It says the perimeter of a rectangle is 24 centimeters. Well, perimeter, here's the formula right there. Perimeter equals 2L plus 2W. So I'm going to plug in 24 for the perimeter. Now I need to figure out what am I going to plug in for L and W. Well, it says one side is 6 centimeters longer than the other side. Well, looking at this picture, it looks like they're going to let the width be the one side and the length be the side that's 6 units bigger, or 6 centimeters bigger. So, we've got two equations here. We've got this equation and we got this one. What does it say L is? W plus 6. So we're going to substitute W plus 6 in for L. So 2 times W plus 6 plus 2W. We don't change the W because that is the measurement of that, the width. And now we've got one equation with one unknown. Let's go ahead and simplify this and work it out. 24 equals, distribute the 2W plus 12 plus 2W. So I just distributed the 2 inside the parentheses. Now what I'm going to do is combine like terms. 2W and 2W are alike, so if I combine those, I get 4W plus 12. Now I solve for W. Subtract 12 from both sides. When I do that, I get 12 equal to 4W. Divide by 4, and that gives me W equal to 3. How do I find, that's my width. How do I find the length? Substitute it in here. It says the length is W plus 6. And since W is 3, we plug that in. So the length is 9. Number 47 says Susie has a collection of coins made up of dimes and quarters. So we have dimes, we're going to call D. That's going to be the number. D is going to be the number of dimes. And then we got quarters, so we're going to let Q be that, and that's going to be the number of quarters. And she says she has 44 coins in all. So since D is the number of dimes, and Q is the number of quarters, if we add up the dimes and the quarters, we get what? 44 coins total. Then it says, which totals $8.60. Well, think about it. How much are dimes worth? Yeah, 10 cents. So I'm going to put 0.10D plus, how much are quarters worth? Yeah, 25 cents. So if I plug in 0.25Q, now don't lose the decimals, those are very important. Alright? So if I take the number of dimes times 10 cents plus the number of quarters times 25 cents, I'm going to get my total amount. Well, what did they say the total was? $8.60. So there I have two equations, two unknowns. Now what I need to do is I'm going to use elimination method. And if I use elimination method, then I need to get one of these, eliminate one of these variables. I'm going to go ahead and eliminate D. And to do that, I need to make this D be the opposite of the blue D, which is 0.10. I need this one to be a what? Negative 0.10. If you want to just put negative 0.1, that's fine. The 0 doesn't have an effect here. So you got negative 0.10D. Negative times, remember you got to multiply times all of it, so it's a negative 0.10Q. And then when I multiply negative 0.10 times that, we get negative 4.40. And of course you can use your calculator to get that value. You don't have to do it in your head. Here the D's zero out. I have 25 cents minus 10 cents gives me 15 cents. Q's just coming down. 860 minus 440 is going to be $4.20. Then we're going to divide by 15 cents. 0.15. And of course here, you're going to have a calculator, so you can use your calculator. I'm going to use mine. $4.20 divided by 15 cents. Don't forget the decimals, it is important. So we get 28 quarters. Well, if I have 28 quarters, I'm going to come back up here to this original equation, D plus Q equals 44. If I have 28 quarters, then how many dimes do I have? Well, I can take that 28, subtract it from the what? 44. And what's that going to give me? 16 dimes. 28 quarters, 16 dimes. In a chemistry class, 6 liters of a 4% silver iodine solution must be mixed with a 10% to get a 6% solution. How many liters of the 10% solution are needed? So in a chemistry class, we have 6 liters of a 4% silver iodine solution. So 6 liters of the 4%. It's going to be mixed with a 10% solution. Okay, it's going to be mixed with a 10% solution to get a 6% solution. How many liters of the 10% solutions are needed? So we want to know what's going to make it be a 6%. So first of all, I'm going to change all my percents to decimals. Now if you're using a calculator, you really don't have to do that if your calculator has a percent key. Just don't multiply by the 10 or the 6 or the 4. It could create a problem. So 6 times 0.04, that's going to be 0.24. Again, you can use your calculator. So I'll get mine out to double check myself. 0.24 plus 0.10x equals 0.06. Subtract 0.24 from both sides. That's going to give me 0.10x equal to 0.30. Divide by 0.10. You're going to get x equal to 3. So I need 3 liters of the 10% to make a 6% mixture. Number 49 says one number is 5 times larger than another number. So let's let one number be x and the other one be y. So one number, we'll call it x, is an equal sign, 5 times larger than the other number, which we said was going to be y. The difference of the two numbers is 80. Now, I'm going to go x minus y equals 80. And if you ask, why did I choose x to go first rather than y? Because x is my larger number. It's 5 times bigger than y. And the reason I put x first is because for this to be a positive number, if x is positive, then x is going to have to be first to make sure that it comes out positive. So we're going to substitute 5y in for x. I've got 2 equations, so I've got to substitute one of them into the other. Or I can do an elimination method, but since it's already set up equal to x, I'm going to use substitution. 5y minus y is 4y equal to 80. Divide by 4, and y equals 20. And then, since I know that y equals 20, I can plug in here, x equals 5 times 20. So x is going to equal 100. So it asks, find the numbers. Well, the first number, the bigger number is 100. The smaller number is 20. Now number 50. This is the last problem on the review, and it is typed in wrong. It should say cruise boat travels at 12 miles per hour, 48 miles downstream in 3 hours, and returns upstream in 6 hours. So when we do that, we got distance equals rate times time. We have a downstream that we need to look at. And then we got a distance equals rate times time, which is an upstream. And what they want us to know, find out, is what is the current? Well, it's got to have a current because it took 3 hours to get downstream, but 6 hours to come back. So obviously there's some kind of water current going through there that creates a difference. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look here and we're going to go distance. What's the distance? Well, for both of them, it's 48. So we'll just put 48 in there. Now, the rate. Now, the rate is where we got to watch for. We got the rate of the boat, which is 12. Now, when you're going downstream, it's pushing you downstream, so you actually increases your speed. So we're going to put plus, and we'll call it C for current. If that's okay with you, I'm going to call it C for current. Now, what happens when you turn around and go back upstream? Now the current's what? Coming against you, so we got to subtract the current from your actual speed because it'll slow you down if you go the same exact speed both ways. So we got here, the rate is 12 plus C, and it took us what? 3 hours. But here it was what? 12 minus C, which took us 6 hours. Now what we look at here is that the distance is the same both ways. When you go downstream, you come back, you're coming back the same amount of distance. So what I can do is set these two equations equal to each other. 12 plus C times 3 equal to 12 minus C times 6. Because the distances are the same, I can set those two equations equal. Now I'm going to distribute. I got 3 times 12 is 36 plus 3C. Then I'm going to distribute the 6. I get 72 minus 6C. Combine like terms, and I like to keep my variables positive, so I'm going to add 6C. I'll start with that. It doesn't really matter. If you started with the numbers, that'll work. 36 plus 9C equal to 72. If you don't mind, I'll move this up here so I have more room. 36 plus 9C equals 72. At that point, I'm going to subtract 36 from both sides. Now I get 9C equal to 36, divide by 9, and my current is 4. For what? Miles per hour. That's what we're dealing with on this one. And that would be our final answer. Hopefully this video's sessions have helped, and good luck on the final.